Hey VC, this is Eric. I am back. I went to a record show yesterday. Got a stack of stuff. A lot of stuff is from the dollar bin, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. But starting off with the Archie's Sunshine. Yes, this is the Archies as in Sugar Sugar. This is their attempt at doing a head-type Monkeys deal. I've listened a little bit. It's okay. Nothing earth-shattering, but fine. Next up, that was from Dollar Bin. This is from the Dollar Bin as well. American Anthem soundtrack. Why did I get this? Because it's got In Excess, it's got Stevie Nicks, and it's got a Graham Nash song produced by Giorgio Moroder. For $1, sold. Alright, and this one is pretty trashed, so bear with me. I don't have anything by the Guess Who. I have a random track here and there on a compilation. So I figured for $1 I'd check out their greatest hits. Nick Gilder, City Nights. Somebody had mentioned this and figured for $1, why not check it out? This one was a complete blind buy. You can't really read it. It's Duke and the Drivers and Cruisin'. Read a little bit about them. They appear to be a Jay Giles style 70s bluesy band, blues bar band. Okay, this one's pretty trash, and it was $1. And I got it mainly for that Wings of Change logo on it, but this is Eric Burdon and the Animals. The record itself is kind of scratched up. All right, and Hooters, Nervous Night. Now look, this has And We Dance, which is a good song, All You Zombies, which is a good song, and a cover of Arthur Lee and Love's She Comes in Colors. Solid 80s pop rock. For $1, it's worth checking out. Speaking of 80s stuff, The Knack. Round Trip. This is not the one with My Sharona, but I have Get the Knack, and I figured, hey, for $1, why not? Ooh, and everything's slipping and sliding. Bear with me for a minute. 2-record set. This is the Moody Blues. I don't really have any Moody Blues in my collection, so I figured I'd check out kind of a best of thing. For $1, why not? You know, that's the great thing about those dollar bins is you can find stuff to check out that it's not a huge investment. Speaking of which, Passport, Infinity Machine. Cover looked cool. The names are German. I figured, you know, electronic or krautrock, that kind of stuff. Progressive jazz fusion from the 70s with an electro bent to it. You know, not my usual kind of thing, but hey, once in a while, having some electro funk 70s, you know, stuff on in the background when you're folding laundry or whatever, why not? All right, so those were all $1. So now we get into the records that I paid $3 for. The Shaking Pyramids. So in England in the early 80s, after punk, there was post-punk. There was psychobilly, which was a mixture of punk and rockabilly, and there was a neo-rockabilly revival, and these guys are part of the neo-rockabilly revival. I don't really know their stuff, but for $3, and hey, I love that like 80s cover, so why not? This one was also $3, and this one I was surprised I got for $3 because this is one of my favorite lesser-known Johnny Cash records. Johnny Cash sings the ballads of the True West. This is a 2 LP set. The LPs look in good condition. I'm not going to pull them out because I have these crappy plastic sleeve liners for the actual LPs. But if you're looking for Johnny Cash that's below the radar, solid record, good place to go to. There's also one that's Apache Tears. That one's really good too. But there's some really good stuff on here. The songs people know are things like Mr. Garfield, Streets of Laredo, Sam Hall, 25 Minutes to Go, and The Blizzard is kind of a brutal song, but it's pretty amazing. So if you're into Johnny Cash and you don't know what to do beyond the American recordings and the Sun Studio 50 stuff and the live albums, obviously, it's a good record. Check it out. All right. $3 for Rachel Sweet, who was kind of Stiff Records' answer to what we now consider Britney Spears type girl pop singer. So Stiff Records was a UK punk label. They were part of the pub rock scene. They put out early stuff by The Damned, Nick Lowe, all those kinds of guys. Rachel Sweet was their attempt at getting into the teen pop market. She does a cover of The Damned's New Road. She does a cover of Elvis, and she does a cover of the Velvet Underground in here. You know, nothing earth-shattering, but for $3, worth checking out. Okay. Speaking of female vocalists from the punk era, Pearl Harbor, formerly of Pearl Harbor and the Explosions. This is kind of 50s rock and roll, rockabilly kind of stuff. She does Fujiyama Mama on here, which is a Wanda Jackson song. And I, of course, covered this up, so I can't tell you what the other song... Oh, there's a cover of Rough Kids by Kilburn and the High Roads, which was Ian Dury's first band. I listened to one half of this yesterday. Good stuff. Once again, $3. So now I bought a couple records for $4. Alice Cooper, Flush the Fashion. I read an article recently about Paul McCartney playing with synths in the early 80s, and it talked about a lot of 70s rockers who messed around with synths around that time, influenced by krautrock and obviously synth pop that was going on. And this one, I got for $4, and it's got a cover of Talk Talk by the Music Machine, which is one of my favorite 60s garage bands. And, it's a weird Alice Cooper trying to do new wave. It's not the world's most amazing album, but there's some cool stuff on here, and for $4, why not? Speaking of weird stuff, this is from the 70s, and now one of my mission statement on this channel was to show stuff that other people aren't necessarily showing. $4. There's a full live LP in here, plus an EP, Bebop Deluxe. The closest I can come to describing them is kind of 70s progressive, but with more of a punk edge, so more like Hawkwind, but not quite like Hawkwind. Anyways, it's got that great Metropolis cover. Solid band. This is for all you prog heads out there who like a little more pop and a little more punk and a little more, little less noodling. Bebop Deluxe is a band you should check out. It's the back of the record. So yeah, 2 LPs, $4. So of the $4 records I bought, this is maybe the one that I paid a little more than I should have, mainly because the jacket's a little bit busted. This is LA Inn. This is an early Rhino Records compilation, and it's got The Cats, Charm School, Low Numbers, Twisters, Ravers, The Droogs, Spock, The Furies, The Weasels, but it's also got the Surf Punks, who I know of, and it's got the Rubber City Rebels, who were in some horror film that I cannot remember, but they're kind of a cool Ohio LA transplant band, punk band. And then more importantly, it's got Oingo Boingo, really early Oingo Boingo stuff. So early Rhino Records, $4. Like I said, maybe it was a little much considering the condition of the jacket, but for the vinyl, stuff to check out. Cool. So this was my big splurge. This was the $6 record. This is a soundtrack to Zechariah, which is an extremely weird, almost nothing like it, 70s Western rock and roll rock. I don't even know how to describe this film. It's just look up the trailer. It's worth 20 minutes of your time to look at clips or whatever. But you got Country Joe and the Fish, you got the James Gang, and you got a band there called the New York Rock Ensemble, which was mainly a bunch of classical musician types. But Michael Kamen, who went on to become a big time orchestra director and music scorer for film, was in that band, and their stuff is really hard to find. This is a weird movie. It was $6. Not sure you're going to find this around too much. The jacket's a little rough, but the vinyl's really good. I listened to a little bit of it yesterday. Good stuff. Just for the cover alone, it's worth it. So, those are my record show finds. I'm going to start something new here. Band you should know. The Flaming Sideburns from Helsinki, Finland. Think Little Richard meets AC/DC and Roky Erickson, all that good garage rock stuff, the Sonics. They've been around for a long time. High energy, rock and roll with that 50s soul bent. So, check them out. So, if you like the video, hit like, comments, questions, anything, leave it below. Subscribe if you feel so moved, and I'll see you next time.